Hello everyone. Now we have reached to the point where we have to include the most and the critical piece of information into our technical proposal. So far, we have just implemented the first generate the technical proposal, for any given RFP with a set of, information like technical architecture, technology stakes, and the cloud deployment strategy, right? And then the executive summary and a very simple thing, right? But the most important thing is we implemented like the deep dive analysis, and we have given four options where we can elaborate the proposed architecture, which you can see on my screen, provide a deeper comparison of the technology stack, and then detail out the cloud deployment services, right? And the fourth option is if you want to have a more technology stack rather than having a three technology stack, then we can just use the fourth option, right? So this is what the current state was until the previous video. So if you haven't watched my previous video, first two part is really important to follow along with this video, right? So you will find the link in the description as well as on the right top of your screen. You will see the link for both the part one and part. Now, the most important and the critical part is you would have rightly guessed is estimation, effort, and the pricing. Without having an estimation, effort, and a pricing, our technical proposal is not completed. And this is the most important aspect of any technical proposal, because that is where customers start looking for, right? First is check whether the estimation, effort, and the pricing is in their budget or not. And then they actually go to the next level where they see to try to understand what kind of capability, the any software service provider or the software vendor has, right? So this is the most important part, and I'm going to explain how I have implemented that. And I have added a new MCP server, which actually help the agentic AI to not only calculate the development cost based on the technology state which we have chosen. It also provide how much operational cost is gonna be for any given cloud on a monthly basis, which is the most important part, right? So before we get into that, let me just quickly walk you through the very high level flow, how it's gonna look like from the beginning. But before we get into that part, I would highly recommend you, if you really like my videos, give a thumbs up. And if you are interested for a future video, just give a notification bell as well, so that you can just get notified the moment my video is published. And one more request which I have, if you haven't subscribed for my channel, please subscribe for my channel as well. So without further delay, let's get into the the flow part, and I'm going to explain each and everything, then you will understand how this entire process works. I have already run all the four steps. Like the first one is where I have just analyzed the RFP, and we got all the four versions, right? So let me just quickly explain you what I'm doing, right? So these are the version one where where we can quickly see that the technical proposal. Then we have a second version, third version, and the fourth version. In second version, intentionally what I have done is I have elaborated basically a deeper comparison on the technology stack. And the third version is having a detail about the cloud deployment strategy. And then I have run the estimation, which you can see, which I have recently run, right? Same thing you can see on my server side as well, right? From this is where, it started. This is the step one where it is trying to generate the proposal with the V1. And you can see here, it is simply say that, okay, deep dive is false. Then the second option is deep dive is true. And now we are requesting for the deeper comparison of the technology state, which results in the V2 words. Then the third option is detail out the cloud deployment services with this version V3. And then we have this version V4, right? Okay. So I'm just okay, and then this is the fourth step where I'm saying I just need to generate the cost estimation. And that's the reason we have all these four versions, right? I can quickly show you that this is my version 4 and version 3. In version 3 and version 1, 2, 3, I've already explained in my previous video. You can see the only difference would be in these versions is based on what deep dive option I have chosen, that information actually gets elaborated. So let me just quickly do the comparison here from the version V3 and V4, and then I'm gonna explain, the difference which we got. So now we have the very first version is 1.0, then the second one is 1.1. Now we have 1.2 where I have just detailed out the cloud service, and then this is the final version 1.3, which has the financial proposal, which actually contains the estimation, and that's the only difference which we're gonna see here. Now we can see this seventh section is got added, financial proposal and the cost estimation. The first one is the development cost. Now we can see the work breakdown task here, right? Which is, is really essential to understand how much effort we need. So now here we can see the number of person days we need. Foundation and planning, these are the these are the different categories under which, this effort is calculated by the agentic AI. So if you just see, it is very comprehensive and covering almost every aspect of any given project, like setup, core architecture, database design, schema implementation, DevOps related activities, CI, CD, and IAC, which is infrastructure as code setup, right? Because since it has to be a deployment on a cloud side. So now we can see the estimated effort, same with the front end and back end development. In back end, we are using a microservice architecture. We can see the detail over here. Quality management related to testing, and then we have a total estimation done here. So how many person days we need, and based on the whatever the per day cost you are having, you can just change. I just kept it as a 500. You can just take whatever the standard you have, and accordingly you can get the final number over here. This one is for development cost for building a solution. Then this is the deployment strategy for the cloud. I have taken AWS for the example here, but you can choose Azure, GCP, and DigitalOcean as well, because we have a flexibility to choose any cloud service provider as well. Now, the first thing is, if you are going to deploy this solution on the Kubernetes, then you need a EKS service from the master node as well as the worker node. And this is what the cost for that. Then we have a RDS for saving our data. If it is a multi-AZ, if we really need to, maintain the recovery and the disaster management, then definitely we need a multi-AZ. So this is how the cost will be calculated for RDS. Then we have a cache, which is the Elastic Cache service for Redis. Then we have a Redshift, we have a load balancer, then we have a net clearing, right? So this is how the operation cost would be for per month. But these kind of thing is something which you can just calculate based on your experience and your latest information, which is really important to have, right? And this is really awesome, because in just few minutes you can have your technical proposal with all the important like technology architecture, technology options, cloud deployment strategy, and the effort estimation and the pricing for the entire solution. So now the question comes up, to implement this generate financial estimates, the last section which you can see, which is the step 3. What all changes I have to make, right? So the very first change which I have to make on a UI part is, which was to add that section, right? Where I have added that third section here, if you just see, this is the part which I have to add, right? So only thing which I have to add, this is step 3. This is just a markdown kind of a caption which you need, and then you have this button which I am defining here. Right? Once this button is defined, then I can just write a click event on it, and I can say which function to be called. So now I'm just calling a same run deep function, right? And then these are the input parameter, the same input parameter and output parameter which I have given for the other options, right? This is the API app UI based changes. The next changes which I have to do is in my agent. The only change here I have to do is to just add the new server. Along with that, first I have to change the prompt as well, because prompt, as I mentioned, is the heart of all the new changes you are going to bring into the agentic AI. You have to see how you can control your large language model response, and that is where the prompt becomes the most important aspect. You have to write your prompt in a very, very intelligent way, and this is the section which I have added here. Right? If you try to understand, it's very straightforward. It's just following the same structure which we have for the other deep down options. But here, if you just see, the request is for generate cost estimation. Specifically, we are mentioning this, and you must perform the following sequence. So I'm just controlling how you should do it, because I don't want my LLM to get confused and get into some confused state where it keep checking, again and again a new thing. So if you just see, I'm just, telling what has to be done. Analyze the requirement in the document and create a high-level work breakdown structure, and estimate the effort in each part for the person days. Front end is 30, back end is 40. This is something which you can just put it as per your experience and expertise level, right? The next thing is development cost. Then the next thing is estimate price cloud resources, calculate a monthly cloud cost, and then add a new section which you will see, 7th option, propose financial proposal and cost estimation. And this section will have further section like estimated the one-time development cost and estimated monthly cloud hosting cost. And that is what we needed. So this is where the prompt engineering becomes very important. And this is where I have to spend a lot of time to first understand what kind of information I want to see and how I want to instruct my large language model so that it can do its magic. Now, apart from this API changes and agent changes, I have to write my new MCP server. And if I have to write my new MCP server, then definitely I have to tell my agent then where it can find the new MCP server. So I call this as a cloud pricing, and this is where it can find my new server. And again, in a prompt also, I have to do this. The first prompt, which is for the initial analysis, we don't need that. Only information, this tool is only going to be used in deep dive mode. So this is the reason why I have just added here. And this is the method structure which I'm just gonna explain, which just get the get cloud price, its provider, region, resource type, and the size tier. So these are the 4 parameters we need. Like provider means what kind of cloud provider you want, whether AWS, Azure, GCP, or DigitalOcean. This is what I have implemented so far. Then the region, in which region you want to implement that. Then the resource type and the size tier. So resource type, what size, what resource you need, whether you need RDS, you need cache, you need EKS, you need ECS or EC2 instance or Redshift, whatever you want, you have to just give that type. And the tier size. Tier size means what kind of configuration you want in that CPU, like small, large, micro, and whatever you want now, right? Okay, then now comes the last piece of the puzzle is, the MCP server. And this is my MCP server, which is a very simple MCP server. Until this part, everything is okay. What I have done, I have just created this CSV file with extracting a latest data for all kind of resources. So if you just see, these are my computes, are different EC2 instances based on the size tier, nano, micro, small, and then we have these information like provider slug, region, resource type, size tier, CPUs, memory, price per hour, and storage type. So this is how you can see the storage type and the price per hour in dollars, and the memory and the CPU. Right. Same thing with USW, US West 2. So basically, I'm just capturing this at the region level. You can see US West East 1, US West 2, EU West 1, US Central 1 for GCP, because this is the how they have just called these region. Then if you see there, we have this Azure, which use East US, West US 2, something like that. And then we have a DigitalOcean, which use completely a different region name, NYC2, SO2 3, AMS 3. Right. So this is what my CSV is. And whenever I have to get, the latest information, I have to change this. But in future also, I can just use the API to populate this CSV on the monthly basis or the weekly basis, depending upon how frequently these cloud provider changes their pricing. Right. This I just extracted this month only. So this is the recent one. Then this is what, the very first thing, it's just loading the CSV, which is a very straightforward reading, using a CSV module, and just to read this. And once this is readed, and then we are just creating these, list for all the records which we have in our CSV. This is the same method which I have registered with this decorator, which tells, okay, server, this is the method is available to, this is a tool basically available for on a server side where, MCP client can figure it out, right? So since we have already used this method here, where is that? Yeah. So get cloud provider region resource type. If you just see, this is the same methods signature which we have: provider, region, resource type, size tier, and it is going to return us that date, right? So what it does is it just get through all the records which we have, and then it's try to see what kind of resources you are feeding in here, and based on that, it just try to extract the information and give it us to back, right? This is how it is just giving all the information which we will be giving. So here you can see it's just giving that, right? So basically, if you just see, this is the if condition where it is just matching all those parameters which we are feeding in, and it is just going through all the records which we have in a CSV, and wherever this all those 4 important parameter matches, it means that that price has to be extracted, and that is how it is extracting the price and giving back to as a dict or the JSON, which my MCP client is able to understand. Because once this information gets back to the agent, then agent will utilize this to just populate the information. Right. So this is what line by line code explanation for my server. What kind of changes we have to do at the agent level. On all the changes which we have to do is to register my new MCP server on my agent side and change, the prompt which is needed, which is the most important aspect of this, and then some UI changes. So these are the few places which we have to change to incorporate this new feature. Right. So this is how you can do. The flow is pretty much same. You can first start with the very first phase. In my opinion, you should always run first 3 options, and then you have to go for the estimation, right? So this is how I can quickly run this one more time, right? So this is how, you can have your technical proposal with proper estimation, effort, and the pricing. And last, we can just quickly see the final PDF to assess whether my final PDF is in a good shape or not. Right, so this is 1.3. So let's start with the very first version is 1.0. 1.2 is elaborating, the deeper comparison of technology state. 1.2 is for the cloud strategy, deployment strategy, detailed out, and then this is the final version. If I just scroll it down, we can see the proper tables, with the information like estimated effort, which I have already explained in the markdown. This is how this table is just being populated. These are the total number of days and then the cost. And then this is the cloud hosting table, which is very, very good. And now we can see the monthly operational cost. Right? That's it. So that's it from my side for this particular video. If you have any feedback or suggestion, please feel free to put that in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching this. Stay healthy and keep learning new things.